King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, the early years.
We released an EP like in late 2011, and we kind of just after that we were like, oh, we just did everything ourselves. So we basically like did all the artwork, got it pressed, and got it distributed like all on our own. So we were like, oh, we don't really need anyone else to do it for us.
We just released our first full album called 12 Bar Bruise. I think it's been really cool to release an album. We released 2 EPs before that, and it was really cool to, I don't know, feel like a real band after releasing an album, and just for people to listen to that.
So let's talk about the record, 12 Bar Bruise. How long has it been, in the gestation period?
A fair while. Most of the songs aren't really that old though. They were probably all written this year and stuff. It's been, the recording process was kind of fairly quick and pretty painless. Yeah, it was good. We did do it in a studio and stuff, but we did it pretty quickly and cheaply. And actually a fair chunk of it was done at home too.
Yeah.
And, and then we just sort of, I don't know, it was a pretty long process.
Yeah.
The actual, I guess the recording process took quite a while, and the writing, obviously getting all the songs together.
Yeah.
And then we kind of actually putting it out, like the CDs, we kind of just sourced the artwork and got a friend to do some amazing stuff, some amazing art, and then I think Stu put together a little bit of the insert design type thing. Like Stu just got on Photoshop and did a little bit himself as well. And then the CDs, we just found somebody to like distribute it, to help put it out, and that came together quite quickly. But then we also are doing vinyl, which takes a lot longer.
Yeah, having a 7-piece is good because you can work in different combinations of people and that kind of thing. The band is never really set to the 7-piece thing.
Yeah, so it's more like, they might work out, Stu might work out a song with our drummer and bass player just as a 3-piece, and then kind of add little sections of other instruments here and there. And I guess that's kind of how we did it for 12 Bar, but we want to, like, the next thing we do, we kind of want to actually record as a 7-piece, just for something different, just to mix it up.
There are some winning titles on all of this record, including Garage Lydiard. I know you guys are big fans of the drones.
Yeah.
What are some of your favourite moments on the record when you think back about recording it and writing it? What are some of the highlights for you guys now that you've got this or are about to release this album out into the world?
It was really fun to create.
Absolutely. There was a couple of moments that stand out, like with the song Footy, like Stu kind of wrote it as, once again, just an absolute gag song, like it was just an absolute joke. And we thought, we can never play this, like we didn't know how people would take it, or if they would like hate us, or if all of a sudden we'd just become this band that has the Footy song or something like that. And we were just in the studio and the song was kind of done, and then Joe, like our guitarist, just started like doing these really funny like voiceover of all these like favourite players, and we're like, you got to record that, you got to add that in. So now it's just like the whole song is just a roll call of all these mid-90s like underappreciated AFL players.
One of the other favourite moments on this record for me is Uh-Oh, I Called Mum. A lot of life in this song. What's the backstory to that particular tune?
It came from an experience Lucas had at Golden Plains actually this year, I think. We're listening to, was it Charles Bradley? Yeah, just watching him play, and just this incredible old soul singer, like absolutely so sort of like heartfelt, and this amazing performance. And Lucas just kind of started to, get a little bit anxious or a little bit excited, and he kind of freaked out a little bit and ended up in the medical tent, and he called his mum. And because that was the only thing that was going to sort of make him feel better, was calling his mum. Yeah, and that's kind of how this story evolved, and Stu just thought he'd write a little tune about it.
Forever regretting that need for comfort.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We could never let him get away with it, so I guess we put it in a song, so now it's just out there forever.
And there's been some kind of fun things on it as well, like famously the title track is recorded on iPhone recorders.
Yeah.
And yet it still sounds like, it doesn't sound that different from the rest of the record.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think iPhone's absolutely unbelievable. Stuff you can do with them is just crazy. But we used about 5 for that song, all at the same time, and then mixed them together like that. So it kind of was better than one.
Sea of Trees, tell us a little bit about this one.
It's not much to tell. It's just a song.
Yeah, this was kind of my favourite song on the album. It's kind of like a very cruisy, I reckon it's a bit of a driving number.
Yeah, it's a bit dark.
So it's a bit dark. The lyrical content is a lot darker than on most of the songs that Stu has written. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's about that forest in Japan that disgruntled or like businessmen go or like and kill themselves essentially. It's called the Sea of Cheese.
Wow.
Translated from whatever the Japanese word is.
That
yeah, it's pretty morbid.
Yeah, I think we just want to put out another album like in January.
Yeah, so we just we just finished recording an album. So we'll probably release that in January.
Like about a month ago. Yeah, it's DIY.
Like recording something that we've consistently always done, whether we've released it or not, since the band started. I won't give anything away yet until we do release it, but it's sort of its own big kind of project, this one.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Like it's not really like normal Gizzard. It's like a different thing altogether. But it's cool. It'll come under the same name.
And then after that, after 12 Bar Bruise, I've been told that you've got sort of like a spaghetti western record on the way, or was that a joke that just came out of an interview somewhere?
I didn't know people that knew about that, but that's cool. Yeah. So that'll be hopefully early next year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we've almost nearly recorded most of it.
Yeah, it's pretty done.
So is that going to be the second record, or is that like a different thing?
But it'll still be,
It'll be a real record. But it won't be a normal one.
Yeah, right.
But that's the point, I suppose.
Awesome. Well, look, 12 Bar Bruise out now from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Spaghetti Western one early next year. Does that have a title yet?
Navajo Quicksand. Is that a working title?
That's kind of cool. I like Navajo Quicksand.
Got a few working titles.
All right, cool.
I think first we just had an idea to just write a score for like an imaginary film, and we didn't really have. I mean, we did something in the past with Brod, and I suppose it kind of was spurred on by then. But I think, yeah, the start for this, the concept for this album was really just a score for a imaginary film, which we all thought would be a really fun kind of challenge to attempt.
Yeah.
But Brod got involved, and he's just absolutely obsessed with westerns. Like he's just a nut. he's just crazy in general, and he's just really into it. So he essentially wrote this story. He would send us a chapter every now and then, and I think some of the time we'd send him music, and that might inspire, part of his chapter. He'd think like, oh, this song's got this vibe to it. Maybe that's what the character can do next in the next chapter. And then often he'd send a chapter, and then we'd be like, all right, sweet, this chapter feels like this. And then we'd write something to specifically suit that chapter that he'd written. So it kind of went really back and forth like that.
Okay.
And the songs were just kind of recorded one by one, just at home. And yeah, just when we sort of had time around sort of Brod's chapters. And then we pieced it all together, and there it was.
Yeah. And that album's called Eyes Like the Sky, and because Broderick's the father of one of your bandmates as well, Ambrose. So and he, of course, he's been there and done that with Carson and the Dingoes. Does he sort of give you guys a bit of inspiration occasionally, or give you advice on how to be in a band? Or
yeah, he does. He's a very, very interesting man, and he's great to have a chat to and kind of hear a lot of his I suppose rock star type of stories. But yeah, he's a good guy to kind of be involved with. I mean, it was an awesome kind of thing just to collaborate with him. Yeah, cool guy. He writes a good story. Yeah, good writer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think as soon as we finished this album, I was like, this guy, he just wanted to do another one straight away.
Yeah.
He wanted to do Eyes Like the Sky 2 straight away.
All
and
right.
then he's written it already. He wrote it like a month after we finished it.
Okay.
So I think he's waiting for us to do it, but
Yeah.
it's hard to find the inspiration to kind of write an entire album. So maybe one day there'll be Eyes Like the Sky 2.
Okay, we'll look forward to that.
Yeah, maybe.
And do you guys record everything yourself for your albums?
No, it's sort of always been varying. Eyes Like the Sky was completely just at home. It was very simple, just deliberately kind of a very simple setup.
Mm.
I mean, that style of music, it just really felt like you didn't need too much crazy stuff to record it. Especially because most of the music was, the story is kind of the main thing that's going on, and the music is meant to, like any soundtrack, is meant to complement the narrative. So I think, with that album, we did it ourselves, and we just felt that it was relevant to do that.
Next morning, early, the wagon master of a train came into the post, greatly excited, and reported that the dead body of a man and horse had been found in the road about 6 miles from the post. A company of infantry was immediately ordered out, and proceeding to the spot found the body of Sam Cherry, pinned fast to the ground by the dead body of his horse. The search was continued, and in the lateral canyon were found the bodies of Sergeant Love and the 3 privates loaded with bullets, mutilated and disfigured.
So is there a different vibe then to the new album that'll come out to your previous one?
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, Eyes Like the Sky, that only came out very recently, didn't it?
Yeah.
In February. So you guys have obviously been, working pretty hard, or just been working pretty speedily to kind of get this one done.
Well, we just we just try and do as much as we can. Like Stu, I guess the King Gizzard, he sort of just has he's just like one of those guys that just has to be doing something, and like he just is always doing music and always making music, and so he's really prolific in terms of writing, I guess. But like it's more just like the vibe as well, just such a positive vibe, like it's crazy, and like there's no it's just like it is what it is, and like it's just really sort of seamless process. But the new album is it's really different. It's different in I don't know, it's much more sort of like lush, and I don't want to say that mature or mellow, because it's still some pretty hardcore little moments on it, but I'm pretty excited, and we're all really interested to see how it's taken.
And you've just released Head On Pill, which is a taste of the new album, which is 16 minutes long.
Yeah, about that.
So we don't really have time for that, because that'd be the end of the show.
When we were writing that song, when we were jamming it or whatever, I think the first few times we actually played it went for an hour and a half. We played the song for an hour and a half, and then just had to sort of hone it and condense it all. And now it is what it is.
It's a pretty bold move, I would say, to release that to be the first taste of a new album.
Yeah, it's
a great song.
Yeah, we're all really happy with it. I don't know, I think we just listened to a lot of krautrock, German krautrock in between Eyes Like the Sky and now.
Well, Head On Pill was a song that we did kind of maybe halfway through the band's journey, that maybe was a turning point for the band a little bit. So I remember recording that song. It was we were sort of changing from a 2-minute 3-chord garage rock band to more of a experimental, trying new things and trying new styles type band. Yeah. And that song was really the crux of that. So that was kind of an important little journey in the band's history.
live shows coming up soon for you guys?
No, nothing yet. We'll probably have a tour for the album later in the year.
Yeah.
But no, we've already got the album after the new album ready to go.
Really?
I think so.
How does that even... So why do you split them up? If you've already got that many tracks, did you ever think about just picking the best ones and having one album?
I don't know, I like it. It's like cool. Just always... It's great for the band and stuff. And I think we just like we almost go with themes of it. So we'll be like, alright, this is the sort of psych record, this one coming up. And then the next one will just be like all out sort of like frenetic punk. Each song will be like 50 seconds long. And then like the one after will just be like lush pop. You know what I mean? And then like we'll do a hip hop record or something.
That would be great.
We could. Yeah.
We'd been done with Oddments for a long time. It's definitely not a B-sides record, but it's sort of like these songs that we just accumulated that maybe didn't really fit sort of thematically with other records. But we felt were good songs in their own right. So that's Oddments. And then, so that sort of was almost done before it, you know what I mean? Like we didn't have to work.
Yeah, you already had the songs, and it's just, chuck them on the album.
The thing about Oddments is that not saying that it was necessarily a B-side, like we wrote music for it, but a lot of the songs were just sort of songs that we'd had that maybe just sort of didn't fit into our previous records. And like, not saying they were, you know, bad songs, but I think like the fact that we just sort of had that ready to go and there wasn't that much work to do on that album means that we're able to work on more stuff. Yeah, I think Sleepwalker was a really early song. Was going to go on like Willoughby's Beach potentially, but yeah, sort of just little bedroom ditties that just
We won the heavy metal hardcore / punk
/ best album.
Means more than you could imagine. To me,
people appreciate our music. And, that's the most humbling thing ever. So.
And for anyone to support 7 of us to do something is amazing.
Thanks, Carlton Dry. I'm Cook, and we're from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
In terms of your music, Stu, I can't help but feel that like you had a very set like Australiana aesthetic. Obviously, because of the like Western record, you had to do an aesthetic to match that. And then, obviously, now you've gone a bit more psychedelic. And it's very rare for acts to, like, change their image that much. Was it a sort of conscious thing that you had to consider as you were changing with the music, or what?
I don't think it was super conscious. I think it was just kind of fun to do something different.
Yeah.
More than anything. Just kind of feeling like we should change because it's fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's obviously been rewarded. You've been very prolific. You've released, like, 3 albums now in the course of 18 months. And you've just won $50,000 from the Air Awards. What are you going to do with that money?
We're going to go to America and just live it up.
And obviously you're going to base yourselves there for a while. I think that's the way to do it with the States, is that right?
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see how far we can stretch that 7 ways.
Yep.
But we'll see, I suppose.
It's very expensive to travel a band of 7 people.
Yeah, yep.
Is that what's precluded you from doing it in the past?
I think so. We had a few opportunities in the past, but it's never eventuated until... Yeah, this is going to help us do that.
We're a 7-piece and like we had no money. We won this like competition, you know, it's like, not like, it's sort of just like, oh, you know, it was like a short list of like a bunch of bands doing good in Australia, mainly around Melbourne, and like Carlton Dry, this like beer company in Melbourne, and the prize was $50,000. And then Stu called me one day when I was skating and he was like, hey, we just won it. Like, we're going to go to America for like 2 months. And I was just like, let's go.
Yeah. We're going to head to the States. We're going to head to the States at the start of May with the $50,000 we won from Carlton Dry. So we're sort of, we fly into Austin and we play Austin for Psych Fest, which is sort of a pretty big thing for us. We've been fans of that festival for a long time, and to be playing is pretty cool. Then we sort of do a tour through the rest of May, heading northeast up to Canada for Canadian Music Week, then down the east coast to New York, where we'll settle for a month or so and try and do some recording, and then see what happens.
We've always been really like proactive band in terms of recording ourselves, but to be actually based somewhere for a whole month just recording, like
all of us together as well. We never really sort of
all in the one place for, I guess, when we're in New York, we'll all be there for recording for 3 weeks or a month or whatever, and we'll just all be there.
We wouldn't even really be able to do that in Melbourne because, like, you know, everyone's kind of spread out, and like for actually everyone to be in the one place for that amount of time will just be really productive. Yeah, that's the most exciting thing for me.
And then that was it. I think from that moment I just knew that it was gonna just go to the next level because everyone is just so determined and like on the same page constantly. So we needed to venture out.